Welcome back, everybody, to Hometown TCG. My name is John.
And I'm Josh.
And today we are continuing our pre-release Monarch event series. We're looking at Chane.
So we are going through a series of each hero in Monarch, and this is a very short, limited, bite-sized series. What we want to see, how these champs are going to play in your sealed events, and I'm excited to dig into Chane. I think he's going to be complex.
This guy is fun.
Dude, so fun.
Definitely complex. Let's just start off with what he does well, though.
Okay, so Chane strings a lot of attacks together well with Go Again. He's got several attacks that just give him Go Again. His power naturally, can give something Go Again. He's a very, very powerful hero if you can string things together. He is also difficult to block. Now, it's something we noticed when we were actually making this video. He does bits and pieces of arcane damage. One here, one there. But you made an interesting point. There's no Null Rune in this set.
No arcane barrier.
There's arcane barrier.
There's spell void.
You could destroy an entire piece of equipment to stop one damage. Yeah. But so that's going to be, the mixed damage is going to be more effective and limited than we thought. And his majestic weapon is amazing.
Yeah, in sealed, it's so good.
It's so good. You can build an entire deck around just that weapon, and we'll get to that later. But there are things that he doesn't do well, right?
Yeah. Well, first of all, building the deck is going to be hard. You have to have the right amount of cards.
Yes.
Both quality and quantity.
Quantity is very important in this scenario.
Because you can easily deck out. You're going to go to fatigue because his ability is going to make you banish the top card of your deck at the start of each turn.
Yes.
And if you use your ability twice, it makes you banish the top two cards.
So like we talked about in our introduction to Limited and introduction to Sealed series, playing 30 cards in a lot of heroes is just not a viable option, even more so in Chane. You're looking to get to that 35, maybe even 40, and that just means you need more support. You need more good stuff.
Right, so you're looking to have a high number of cards if you want to play him.
Otherwise, at some point, your hero is textless, so you can't banish cards anymore, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
So let's talk about what an ideal turn would look like if you picked him.
Okay, so an ideal turn, if you're going to break it down, right, you're going to do something that banishes a card and has Go Again. You're going to follow up whatever you just did, that something, by playing the card you just banished from your banish zone with that interaction, having Go Again, whether it's through Chane's power or the card effect, and then into your weapon, whether it's Galaxy Black or if you're lucky enough to draw the majestic weapon, the Dread Scythe, right? That's that. So you want to be doing on your really big ideal turns, I believe it's 3 things. That's what I think.
Yeah, I'm leaning the same way. You got to be able to go wide on it and take advantage of those cards in your banish zone to get them out of there for blood debt and to just use them like an extra card pool that you can play from.
Absolutely, but that seems really conditional, and I'm putting you on the spot right now, putting him on the spot. Is close enough good enough? So we said our ideal turn is doing these 3 things, right? What if I can get close enough?
Okay, so like if you do 2.
Yeah, is that good enough in Chane?
If you're consistent enough to be able to do that, 2 attacks in a turn after time, and then sometimes get 3, I think that's good enough. If you can keep that pressure on. But if it's just like, you do 2 on your good turn, and then you're just kind of hanging back, swinging your weapon the other turns.
And it's not the majestic weapon.
If it's not Dread Scythe just seems efficient for sealed.
Okay. We both agree on that.
Yeah, it feels like you really need to have those big turns to make this guy worth it.
Okay, so I think it's fair to say that we believe close enough is not good enough. So that means we're going to have to pull the right things. What do we need to see to play Chane? If I open my 6-packs, I sort everything. All right. What do I have to see?
First of all,
Dimensional Gateway, right?
Well, Dimensional Gateway. Okay, that's a rare.
Sure.
And what's cool about it is that it lets you opt, banish the card, and do arcane barrier or arcane damage.
Yes.
So this triggers a couple things. It's a non-attack action.
Okay.
Which will trigger cards.
Sure.
It deals arcane damage, which triggers cards.
Yes.
And then it banishes a card.
Which can hopefully be played from that banish zone.
Right. So the opt is nice because you can you're not going to have every card in your deck be able to do that because it's sealed.
Right.
You can, with opt 3, you can find something, be able to banish it, and then use it.
So dig a little bit to find your tool for the second part of that chain, right? So to play the card you banished, the second part of what we want to do, right? Play that card we banished and then into our weapon. Okay, so Dimensional Gateway, his legendary specialization, or not legendary specialization, his rare specialization.
Oh yeah.
Soul Reaping, right?
Right.
Well, it's a rare, but it's a legendary specialization,
Yes.
meaning one per deck.
Soul Reaping is insane.
Well, it turns on, it's the beginning of that chain again, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because you can banish something and then get the pitch and possibly play it from the banish zone.
Yeah, it's crazy. It can be a card that you play for free, essentially. Actually, a card that gives you resources to play.
Yes.
It's just incredible, and it has go again on it if you play a light hero.
Oh, and even if you don't play a light hero, Chane's power
Just
can
use
give
your
it
power.
go. Yeah, just use your power.
Yeah, so
Soul
I
Reaping
think you
for sure.
have to draw Soul. If you draw Soul Reaping, you can play him.
You can play Chane.
If not, it's going to be hard.
Now, we also talked about almost any Runeblade and Shadow Runeblade Majestics justify playing
Yeah,
Chane,
because
right?
they're instants or they have go again that can be played from the banish zone.
Exactly. They
Amazing
build
for
up,
your combos.
They build up that ideal turn like we talked
Mm-hmm.
about. And then we alluded to this earlier. We believe, Hometown TCG exclusive, we believe if you draw Dread Scythe, no matter what else you draw, you can lump a pile together and play the Dread Scythe pile.
Yeah, just try to put as many 3 blocks in blues in your deck as possible and just have a bunch of cards. And all you do on your turn is you block and do Dread Scythe. Because it's similar to like a Bravo strategy where his is a pitch 3 and it does 4 damage.
Yes.
But this is better because the arcane damage just isn't really blockable in this sealed format.
It's very not blockable. So it's a 20 turn clock, right? It's a very long clock. But ideally you want to defend out, play Dread Scythe. We think that's going to be a viable strategy. I really hope I pull it so at our first sealed event I can pull it off and just give it a shot. So that brings us to our last question we want to ask in this limited series. Can you force Chane?
Without that card, absolutely not.
With Dread Scythe, you build the Hometown TCG pile and you force Chane. Without Dread Scythe, you can't force Chane. You got to pull the support.
You need so many cards for him. You have to have the interaction for the combos to come together.
So we hope some of you guys pull enough stuff to play Chane. If you do, tell us about it in the comments because we want to hear about it in case we don't. Until next time, I'm Josh.
And I'm John.
And we'll see you later.